earlier I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw like there was like an interview with Ross Lunch, and he was saying something like he wished that people would recognize him more for his music than just his looks, because like through a lot of like his sets, his when he's on stage, people will yell at him and they'll be like, oh, take off your shirt or take it off, you know what I mean? Which is like, and he was like, I want to be known for my music and not for my looks, which is a problem that women have had for a really long time, which I find to be annoying. Because it's not, I don't think they're trying to discredit you in a way. They're just like, okay, you're hot, you know? Which, I mean, you could take it as a compliment, but after a while, it gets annoying. And I was thinking that the only reason that I know about Ross Lynch, like at all, is because of Austin Alley. Like if I only maybe 3 ways that I would know about him: because of his acting, his singing, or because of interviews. I saw him in an interview with Tara Yummy, and I follow her on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So he was in a Stuck in a Car with Me video with her, and I was happy to see him because I haven't really seen that many interviews of him with him, and to have it be someone that I actually follow was interesting to me. When I had seen him in Austin Alley, mostly I was thinking about, you know, how much I liked the music. It was always catchy. It always had a good beat to it. He has a nice voice, and I remember it was important in my childhood. It was something that I enjoyed watching. It was fun. Now he's not, I don't think he acts anymore, because the way that I remember is I saw him in Austin Alley, was obsessed with Austin Alley. I thought it was silly. I thought it was goofy. I love how sassy. I forget her name. I think it's Trish and Des. I thought those were the 2 funniest characters in the entire show. The Austin Alley, mostly I paid attention to like the romance of them, because I really wanted them to be together, because I thought that they were like complete opposites, which is why they worked together very well. So I was kind of like fingers crossed, hoping that they would end up together. And then I think they got together and then they broke up or something. And I was like, yo, what is happening? No! And I was like 10 years old when I was watching this, I want to say. I don't know how old he is. That would probably tell me, because I'm 20 now. And I want to say it was that same era, like 2016, when I was watching like all this stuff at the same time. But I just remember seeing him on Teen Beach Movie, him and the girl from, oh, what's her name? I forget her name. But I remember seeing her in The Fosters, because my older sister was watching it. I wasn't allowed to watch them. I didn't grow an interest to it until I was a little bit older, and I watched the entire show. I remember seeing her in it, and again, they were complete opposites, and they were adorable. They were adorable together, and I just loved it. It was so cutesy. It was so adorable. The music was fire.
Don't tell me it's a song.
It's a song. Singing was fire. I still have a lot of the music from the shows that I used to watch in my Apple Music right now, like downloaded. Like I still listen to it. Like probably one of my favorites is the one where, ooh. All day, not gonna have it any other way. The songs are so catchy. They're so catchy. They're so catchy. I just love them. And I was thinking about that. I was thinking about him specifically, and I decided that I'm gonna start listening to more of his music, more of his new music, because I loved him when I was a kid, and it's only right that you show support to the people who made you love music in the first place. And the same goes to the people who I watched act, and they made me fall in love with like movies and shows in general. Because that show particularly wasn't always one that I followed for the plot. Now, there was shows that I did follow for the plot, like Was a Beverly Place. I wanted to see it was going to be The Family Wizard. I wanted to see what kind of stuff Alex had got them mixed up again in Now, and how the 2 older siblings are jealous of each other, and Max is just over here just messing stuff up just because, and what kind of crazy dress old girl done cooked up the bestie. I forget her name too. The redhead, oh, I forget her name. Oh, don't take offense, because I love her. I just haven't seen these shows in a while. I'm gonna rewatch all of them. I'm gonna rewatch all of them, and I'm gonna react to them, because I actually don't remember most of them, but I remember loving them. So I was so obsessed with it. But I remember the only reason that I really even knew anything about Selena Gomez was specifically because of Alex. I thought that Alex was an icon. I love her. She's so sassy. I love the way that she dresses. I love her attitude. I love everything that she was getting into. I thought it was just everything. Her and I think Jake T. Austin are the only ones that I ever saw in anything else, really. And so Selena Gomez, I followed her a bit to see what else she was in, and same thing with Jake T. Austin. I also saw him in, what's that movie that was just that show that I was just talking about, The Fosters. That same thing that the other girl was in. I forgot her name. Oh, I should have written it down because I knew I was gonna forget, but it's okay. Remember around this time, Disney Channel, I had stumbled upon Boy Meets World, so I watched all of Boy Meets World because this is a habit of mine. I'll watch a show and I'll watch all of it from start to finish. I think this is one of the first shows that I watched the whole thing. So I want to say that I recorded every single episode, all of them. I watched the entire show, which I will say that I love the show. I love Topanga. I don't remember their names either. Again, it's been a while since I've seen it. I love Topanga. I remember Ben Savage. I don't remember his character's name anymore. I literally was just talking about him the other day though. His character's name is Corey Matthews, Topanga Lawrence. The other guy, super hot, nice hair. That's like his main characteristics. That and his storyline is super sad. Oh my god, Sean. Oh my god, Sean. First of all, I'm not gonna lie, Sean and Topanga were my favorite characters. I liked that Topanga, my favorite part about Topanga is that solely that the fact that she is a woman. Not that she's just a girl. No, she's a woman. She is smart, educated, wants to go to, what did she want to go to, Harvard or Yale? I think it was Yale. She is a feminist. She cares about the environment. She's smart. She educates herself. She's not just a pretty face. And yes, her appearances have changed, but her knowledge has not. All she did was stay beautiful. She was cute, and now she is a bad woman, okay? She's a baddie, okay? If you look at Topanga in whatever the season is where they're in the high school, girl, I'm telling you right now, she's literally everything. She is the complete package. Sean to me was like a puppy. Like, I wanted to hug him because everything about his life was sad. Now, don't get me wrong, he had his best friend who was the light of his life. He had his other friend, he had Topanga, who was another light in his life and was hella smart. So then Sean, having everything that he's gone through with, his mom abandoning him, his dad, chasing the world to find her. I don't know if that was what he was actually doing. With his dad being finding his dad was an abusive drunk, his brother, everything was going on. Spoiler alert, by the way, sorry. Everything that was going on, and then having it, it's just sad in general to think about. It's a really good show that I loved and I really enjoyed, and it had a lot of depth in certain areas. They went into, same thing with Full House. Full House was on the list, but that reminds me, because Full House is one of the shows that I watched where they brought up real world issues. Now, there are some real world issues that at the time didn't bring up, like STDs. They didn't really bring that into light, that at least that I saw, right? But they did bring up stuff like in Boy Meets World. They brought up abuse, neglect, abandonment, alcohol abuse, woman's reputation. I don't know if they brought up abuse. I don't remember. I do remember there being one where there was an allegation where I think one of her teachers was coming on to Topanga in college, and there was like a whole trial of an investigation, what was going on and everything like that. Because they brought up real world issues. They brought up real things that happened in real life that people have to deal with on the day-to-day. And it's like, yeah, we have like the stories that we watch as a kid, like I was talking about Once Upon a Time, and those where they have to go through their trials and their tribulations, but that's not real life. That's a fairy tale, right? But this is actual real life. This is something that would actually happen, that could happen to you. In Full House, I remember there's specifically one episode where Girlie wants to fit into a bathing suit, and she literally starves herself for days. She doesn't eat. One scene specifically of her giving her food to her dog, and her sister is so concerned. Her sister is like, why aren't you eating? And she's like, she hasn't eaten in 3 days. And she just goes to the gym, and she literally like passes out. And like, you're like, she's insecure about her body. And it kind of upset me that they made it her who was insecure about her body. I mean, I get that she's kind of around that age bracket where girls are insecure about their body, but the fact that it seemingly to me, it seemed like they made her wear baggy clothes, like they do with a lot of women in shows and movies. They'll be like, oh, you're too big, you have to wear baggier clothes, or you're too small, you have to wear something that, you know what I mean? It just bothers me because to me it doesn't make any sense. There's no logic involved. Like, I understand maybe to like play a role, like if you ever seen Pretty Little Liars, they have her wear a suit when they have her play Hefty Hannah. But I understand that they need to bring in the objective of the body, but sometimes the way that they go about it is kind of just like, it hurts your head. Like, I remember seeing that as a kid and thinking like, she's not even fat. She's like 11, or she was like 13, but she's like a kid. And I kind of was like, I hope she's okay. I hope she's okay. Girl, you won't even eat a sandwich. Like, are you good? There was also one in there where a kid, he was getting beaten on by his dad, and she told on the dad, and the kid I want to say he got taken away and put into a different home. The show is sad in general in Full House because the main characters, they lost their mom when the show first started, before the show first started. Whereas in a show like Needs World, they have like the picture perfect family. In a show like Austin and Ally, they have their parents, you know. In a show like Wizard of Waverly Place, they have their parents. And they have their standard of like what a family is supposed to be. Same thing with Girl Meets World. They had, you know, the mom, the dad, the brother, her best friend, you know, but her best friend didn't really have a family. Same thing with Sean. Maya is supposed to be Sean, and they made that clear by saying it in the show. But I just felt like they didn't put it at the degree that they should have, because for it to be anything like Sean, she didn't suffer as much. They did definitely, like, they modernized it, where how they do this thing and they're like, oh, let's go ahead and make it seem like it's gonna get the same vibe as the original, but then not do that, because there are stands, there are fans, there are people who watch and dissect and love that show. They love it. They love the characters, they love the theme, they love what's going on, they love that. So if you go and you say, hey, this show is going to be exactly like that, then they're not going to be happy, because it's not going to be like that. You can't remake the original. That's impossible. If you want to do it exactly like that, change the characters, change up the vibe a little bit, that's one thing. But you creating a spinoff and it not giving the same vibe, it hurts what you're trying to do here. When I watched Girl Meets World, I did expect it to be like Boy Meets World, but I still loved the show because it was still a good show. And I know based off of my experience with spinoffs, that spinoffs are never the same as the original, so I never expect it anymore. I remember Girl Meets World being more silly and goofy than Boy Meets World. I do remember that in Boy Meets World there were some, you know, goofy moments, some silly characters, but in Girl Meets World, of the trauma and drama that went on was surrounded around things that weren't, they're important, but there are some issues that they could have brought up. I mean, the show only had what, like 3-4 seasons, I think. It's more than 2, I'm pretty sure. It's like 3 or 4 seasons. The reason why I say that is because one issue that they brought up was bullying. They had cyberbullying, and that's a big issue that is not usually talked about enough, in my opinion. I think that people act like, oh, you just turn your phone off and the issue is solved. But the fact of the matter is that cyberbullying isn't just like one person bullying you. Usually it's like one person is bullying you and everybody else knows about it, and everybody else is jumping on the bandwagon because, you know, they want to, you know, they're making fun of you. It's not, you know.
Let it all out.
I'm better now.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you were. That's good. Riley, tell me.
Stop saying that! People shouldn't make fun of other people. What did I ever do to you?
And yeah, in that specific one, like, it made sense that she was depressed, and that to me really hit hard because she's Riley, and everybody's like, oh, she's supposed to be like happy and sunshine and go lucky, and it's like, that is so relatable, that is so real, that one of the happiest characters will just grow into like this anger and depression. But what didn't make as much sense to me as how nobody else was understanding what was going on at first. It bothered me because that's just like, I'm gonna go off on it for a second. Just like in Steven Universe, I loved Girl Meets World because it was a good time. I liked all the characters that were in it. It's okay for people to grow and change, and which is why one of the things that I didn't like about it is that when somebody in the show changed, they were like, why are you changing? Why are you doing this? Why are you being different than you were? And it's like, because people grow and they change. It's just a thing that happens. Leave it alone. And it wasn't, they just bring in like, you know, trying to be like, oh, he's a robot, and just like goofy stuff like that. That part is fine. It's for kids, so it makes sense that they would do something goofy like that. It's not going to match up to the same vibe as Boy Meets World if you're going to do something like that. I watched other shows that were newer, like Best Friends Whenever. That one was newer. I like that show. I like the vibe of the chick with the brown hair. Don't remember the characters' names. I think her name was Sydney, or maybe that was her best friend's name. I like the vibe of those two characters, their dynamic, the I love the dynamic of two best friends anyway. In general, I love two kind of opposites being best friends. That to me is good stuff. I love Jade. Jade is always going to be one of my favorites. That's why Elizabeth Gillies in general to me is an icon. I'm just gonna say it. Elizabeth Gillies, I wish that I could see more of her. There's a whole section dedicated to just who people want to see more of you. There are more people from Disney Channel that I only knew because I saw them in those shows. Like Zendaya, I only knew about Zendaya because I saw Shake It Up, and then I saw Casey Undercover. I know that she does music, but I've never listened to her music except for in like Euphoria. I knew her from those shows. I knew her from modeling, and I've seen her in interviews, and I said that she was funny and cool, and she's very pretty. Same thing with Dove Cameron. I've seen Dove Cameron originally in Liv and Maddie, and I literally thought they were twins though. I was fooled at 10. I thought that they were literally twins. And I think the first time that I actually loved Liv and Maddie was they had that song, what is it, What a Girl.
And these stupid magazines want me to change my
That was probably my favorite. I would listen to that like all the time. And a girl can be anything that she wants to be, and to me that just meant something. For me to like a character, either you have to hit me emotionally, to a certain extent. You have to hit me, like you have to be like a feminist icon, or you have to have been through some shit where I can relate to you, or and I have to think of you as a cool character in general. Like I thought that Sam from iCarly was a cool character. I rewatched it and I was like, she was mean in the beginning. She was kind of a mean girl, but she was a tomboy mean girl. So she was over here like smashing people into lockers and whatnot. Jade was a mean girl too, but she was like cutesy mean girl. In Dove Cameron, in Liv and Maddie, I don't think there were any mean girls. Not that I remember anyway. There are some mean girls in certain shows that come and go. You know what I mean? Like the two girls who had plastic surgery in Witches of Waverly Place. Like I don't remember what their names were, but they had like the bandages over their noses in the beginning, and like that Liv and Maddie, because it's about her, and the Maddie character was not the best sister. I think that the fact of the matter is that I think that Liv was a better sister than her. Maybe it's just the way that it was framed, and also because of some of the edits that I saw created some biases within me. I think
Some days, I just really wish I wasn't born a twin. The truth was, I couldn't figure out a nice way to tell my sister that I needed space, so technically I was lying right to her face, which is also my face. So really I was just lying to myself, which makes it okay. Right?
at the very least, both of the sisters, they knew who they were. They were separate from each other. Even though they looked identical, they were separate. They knew exactly who they were and what they liked, and that was a part of what I really liked about them. Really liked how one of the brothers, I forget what his name is, one of the brothers, he was not afraid of...
Pink, 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 girls, 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 glitter, 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 twirls, 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 together forever, we're Linda and Heather, best friends.
Then Heather, that's what it is. And Heather, best friend. Not afraid to show some femininity. I want to see more of him too. I want to see him in a movie. I saw him in one of the On My Blocks, I think, the spinoff. I think it's called Free Ridge. Liv and Maddie was such a good show to me. I mean, I think that primarily why is because it's just about two girls, and it's just about them. The whole entire show is just about two girls who are sisters, and so they go through every day as being twins and having to swap places to do certain things because they're twins, and just about like, regular sister drama. If you have a sister, then that sometimes you have sister drama. You have times where you and your sister get into a fight or whatever, and even the side characters, like the brothers will argue or something. They share a room. The sisters share a room. The things with them. I'm gonna go. I know I keep splitting off from what I'm trying to say, but I keep remembering things that remind me of other things. The mom from Liv and Maddie reminds me of the mom from Good Luck Charlie. That girl wanted to be in the spotlight so bad, and I loved it, and I'm here for it. Liv and Maddie, the mom from Liv and Maddie reminds me so much of her. And I did also watch Good Luck Charlie. Love Good Luck Charlie. It's not a part of this, but it is something that I feel like needs to be included. Love the main character from Good Luck Charlie. I forget her name. I keep thinking it's Olivia, but I think that was just her name in Lemonade Mouth or something like that. But I love her. No, her name is Bridget. Bridget Midler? I mentioned I loved her, and I loved Duncan, and also PJ. Duncan was my favorite though. Is his name Duncan? The youngest brother before they had Charlie and Toby. Is his name Duncan? I think his name is Duncan. I think it is. I know his real name is Bradley Stephen Perry. I know his real name is Bradley Stephen Perry. But I remember watching him in that, and then Mighty Med, and then the spinoff of Lab Rats, because Lab Rats, good show. Going on a little bit of a tangent here when we were talking about Dove Cameron, but we were gonna end up going to Rowan Blanchard because she's a part of the Girl Meets World, you know, kind of area there. We can talk about this for a minute. A lot of characters that I could see more of, simply because I just know them from these things, and I fell in love with that character specifically. And I'm like, okay, I could live with this. I could see you in like at least 10 different roles right now. Like if I was to cast a movie, I'd put you in it. Like I swear to God, like these are the people that I love to see, that I loved watching. Rowan Blanchard is on the list of people that I like to see more of. Rowan Blanchard, to me, when I saw her in Girl Meets World. I saw her in, I want to say there's a show, it's called, this movie, I think it's called Invisible Girl. It's like her and the girl from Mighty Med who was like an alien. She had like super speed and I think electricity powers. I think it was electricity powers, I'm not sure. Oh, that one, I might have just made that up. Her name is Sky. Rowan Blanchard, and then I also saw her in The Goldbergs, and I think that's probably the most that I've seen her in. If she's in I'm gonna look her up. I did see a movie of her on Hulu. I like her. I like the way she looks. I like the way that now, the only character that I've seen of her that I could really get into was Riley, because it was a show. And in The Goldberg, she was like a love interest to another character. And then they took her off the show because of, I don't know if you heard the reason why she wasn't in the show anymore. Why I want to say they replaced her. But she reported somebody doing something that was wrong, who was like being inappropriate with somebody who was younger, and they took her off the show because, you know, that's the world that we live in. So I like Rowan Blanchard. I would pay money. I would pay my own money to see her in something soon, and something that really displays that side of the acting, where it was like where I saw Riley. I want to see her like an emotional role. Not like when Riley was happy and go lucky, although nothing wrong with the one being positive and, you know, ditzy and, you know, bubbly, because, you know, Bubbles is literally my favorite. But I do want to see, I feel like when I saw the face change from when Sabrina was saying, let's get out of Riley Town, she said, she was like, people shouldn't make fun of other people. I was like, oh my God, Riley, no! Because you love Riley because she's just, and people are always like saying mean things to her. They're just like, sometimes you're just too much for me. Then leave. I'm sorry. You can never be enough. You can never be too much for me, Riley. You can never be too much for me. Okay. To see a happy-go-lucky ditzy girl. See more of her. I would love to see more of her. I would really. And the thing is, though, if I would have never watched Girl Meets World, I would have never known that she existed, at least in my world. Same thing with Austin from Austin Alley. Same thing with Sabrina Carpenter. I would have only known her for her music. Selena Gomez. I would have only known her as a musical artist. And again, I don't even really listen to Selena Gomez. I mean, I can now, but I haven't in the past. And I just want to take a moment. I just want to take a minute and mention some people. Some of them I didn't actually get their names yet, because number one, I got Rowan Blanchard, because as I said before, I want to see more of her. I need it. I need to see her in a film, in a dramatic film. Leon Thomas, I need to hear more of his music. I know that he's coming up more now that we've got, you know, Mutt, which is super, you know, super heat fire. It's good. It's giving Frank Ocean. Love it. Love that for him. I hope we see more Elizabeth Gillies. I would love to see more of her acting. I think I saw her, she was on like a Broadway thing. I can't remember. She is an icon. She will always be an icon. I want to see more of her. I need to see more of her. Same with Beck. Tori, I do want to see her as a musician. Like, I need to mention her. And Robbie are ones that I never really see that often. I know that Tori, Victoria Justice, sorry, she does music, but I just haven't heard any recently. Same with the guy who plays Robbie. I forget his name. I think his name is Matt. And I don't know what he's been up to, but all I know is that I want to see him. I need to see him. Is it McCarthy? No, it's McCarthy for sure. Who wrote I'm Glad My Mom Died. Who played Sam Puckett in iCarly and... What? Who played Sam Puckett in iCarly and Sam and Cat. She was definitely my favorite character in, you know, that era of Nickelodeon. She was my favorite character in iCarly at the time. She still is, actually. And when I look back at it, I do remember her having a lot more attitude than what I remember. Like I don't remember her seeming as aggressive to me. I just remember thinking of her as relatable and like fun. You know, I figured that she's the kind of person that I was a friend. That's what I remember. Because she made it seem like it was super okay for you to be yourself, and like all her friends around her acknowledged it and liked her for literally just being herself. So I love that. And Tebow, I would love to see more of him. That was also my other favorite. Everybody else, I feel like they already, you know, I've seen a good amount of them, but I really do want to see them more. I want to see more. I want to see Leo from Lab Rats again. I remember him being literally the funniest character on the show. The funniest character in the show.